Wife admitted to cheating years ago. Hello, everyone. Please accept my apologies if this is a lengthy and disjointed message. I'm simply in a foul mood right now. My wife and I had been together since we were in college. Except for her, I've never dated anybody. We've been married for a month and have been together for almost 10 years. We've gone through a lot as a couple. We evolved and grew together. Our lives really revolved around one another. We traversed the globe together and overcame every obstacle. The most significant was probably when she relocated to another nation 5 years into our relationship. But we managed to make it work. Anyway, we were married a month ago after a lot of preparation and hurdles brought on by the epidemic. So I could finally move in with her. I was ecstatic. I thought we'd finally be able to strive toward our ideal life together. Until a few days ago, that is. I'm now in quarantine and won't be allowed to see her for a few more days. I was on Facebook at the time, and I commented to her that I don't understand how her buddy ended up marrying the person who cheated on her. I had no idea how ironic that would be for me. She seemed quite nervous a few seconds later. When I questioned her why, she eventually acknowledged to it. She admitted to cheating on me 4 years into our relationship. This was with a man she met at her first job. She informed me that they went out for drinks as a group, that they were all inebriated, and that she ended up in his vehicle. He attempted to kiss her, but she refused since she had a boyfriend. But they ended up doing it anyhow. They ended up at a hotel, but she claimed nothing occurred since she was vomiting and the man couldn't get it up due to inebriation. However, she acknowledged that they did it in his vehicle on the way home. She told me she was inebriated and that the man was pressing her into it, so she caved. My mind was racing. I couldn't believe she'd done such a thing to me. She stated she couldn't bear the guilt any longer, which is why she informed me that she wanted to be honest and start again. My heart was shattered. Everything seemed to be coming together for me, but then it all fell apart. For the following several days, all I did was swear at her and tell her how wounded I was. She pleaded with me to give her another opportunity. To get over it since we were beginning our new life together. I trust her when she says she's only done it once since then. And that she was just immature at the time. But after pressuring her for further information, I'm not sure why I did this, she eventually acknowledged that she liked the man. And I simply can't believe she was inebriated. She'd calmed down a little, but she still ended up blowing the man and having in the back of his vehicle. This infuriated me even more. How can she so casually toss away what we had? How can she have kept it from me all these years? She said that she realized it was a mistake early on and that nothing similar occurred again. She didn't tell me because she was frightened of losing me. To be fair to her, we were overjoyed. She adored me without reservation. She said that she wants to mend our relationship. But I'm not sure. I can't get the picture of her doing it with him out of my mind. I weep every time I look at her. I can't believe she's done this to me. I'm at a loss on what to do next. I'm not sure I can face her. I genuinely feel she regrets her actions. But I can't get it out of my head. I simply want to put an end to it and move on. I keep telling myself that if I simply think about our pleasant experiences together, I'll be able to heal everything. At the same time, I can't believe she cheated on me and kept it from me for so long. I'm not even sure what we had was genuine. I'm at a loss on what to do. Story 2. Wife cheated. Thinking I'm done. My wife cheated, admits it was a mistake, and believes it should not break us. We have been married for 8 years and have been together for 10 plus years. We have an 8-year-old son and a 5-year-old son. My wife is also the mother of 3 children from a previous marriage. When we initially moved in together, 2013, she resigned her job and was able to find an administrative position at the firm where I worked. During that time, she and this guy I knew from that business became friends, and he would carpool with her to the home and vice versa. I didn't think much about it when he would take time off and hang out at my place with me. I felt it was a good colleague connection. Before I met my wife, I knew the man. We had hung out together at Christmas parties, etc., he and his wife and me and my wife, girlfriend at the time, and it appeared like a pretty great relationship. My wife would tell me about what he told her, how his wife was pregnant, and so on and so forth, and I never made anything of it. My wife barely lasted about a year at that job. Except for social media, we never hear from man again. After a few years, I decided to leave my job in late 2017 to establish my own real estate firm. Everything has gone sour since I changed careers. Mostly because the first year I spent all of our funds to stay afloat, didn't generate enough money to replace my previous salary, and our lifestyle suffered as a result. To keep up with bills and house expenditures before my company could take off, I had to accept odd jobs and side jobs that didn't interfere with the start of my real estate profession. After we had our second kid, 2015, her oldest moved out, 2018 to attend college, and I started working in real estate. It was a whirlwind of events that strained our relationship. We no longer desire the same things. She would complain about my distance from her and how I was never mentally present in the home, which I confess caused me to fall into a deep melancholy, and I was in a pretty bad place during my first year in real estate. In 2020, we had an altercation in which she claimed that she was needing attention since I wasn't offering it to her. We had stopped having for months at a period, and while I'm at home, my wife spends the whole day watching Netflix. She doesn't want to put the kids to bed, and she doesn't want to do anything else after she's done with work. And I spent much of my time browsing through my phone. After 3 cancellations, I decided to plan a journey to visit my mother. I asked her to accompany me, but she claimed she couldn't because she needed to quarantine before returning to work, and that I and the boys should go. I'd take my 2 sons to visit my mother. While I was gone, I got a strange sense from her. She was treating me as if we were friends on the phone and over him, which was strange and unexplained. Long story short, when I returned from my vacation, she tells me, "I believe you and I are in the process of splitting up, we haven't had, you don't appear to be happy, etc., etc., etc." I told her I was in a dark place and wasn't feeling emotionally well, mostly because of my relationship with her, and how things weren't going as planned at work, but that I wanted to persevere, and that I think we still have a 50-50 chance of salvaging our marriage if that's how you feel. We begin the process of determining what we will do for our marriage and children, and I begin therapy for my depression. Long story short, I pull myself out of it once again by concentrating on job, exercise, and good diet. My business takes off in ways I could never have imagined, and while all of this is going on, we are sleeping together and still married, trying to figure it out. I get a text from that dude's wife with all of the screenshots of my wife and him talking, meeting up for lunches, calling each other babe, sending each other videos and pictures, her saying how she loves his voice and how he wants to see her, etc. before we had the "I believe we're in the process of splitting up" chat. Even worse, there is a text from 2013, the day I proposed to her, in which she tells him about how I just proposed to her and she had a wet dream with him. I phoned her, telling her we needed to speak about this guy, and asked if she'd met him. She says yes, and there is some serious kissing going on. I confronted her with photos of her and him in what seemed to be a home, and she refused to tell me where it was because it would make it sound worse than it is. I waited a day to process everything, and the following day I told her we were simply raising kids. I don't want to be with you, and I'm leaving as soon as we figure out what we're going to do with the kids. She informs me that this was my easy way out. WTH? I didn't go out and meet with an idiot who can't count to 100, is a terrible father to his children and wife, has been in prison and is now on probation. God was kind enough to enable me to see this person the next day. I ran into him in an office and kicked his. I informed my wife that they both believed there would be no repercussions for their conduct. My wife and I spoke once I cooled down, and she felt it was simply a little error. Did I mention her last marriage ended in adultery on both sides? She had already given up on me in my mind before she ever told me. Her actions, in my opinion, spoke louder than her words. And now I'm earning good money, have a great real estate business of 3+ years, have shed 20 pounds, and eat well. Reading, etc., and she sees how I've gotten myself out of despair and am doing well, and she thinks she should retain me. But I don't understand how we can go beyond that and return to loving one another when the greatest disrespect has been perpetrated. This thing is over in my mind, and I don't see it any other way.